Hi, I'm Britt Seller, Development Specialist with American Implement, and welcome to this episode of American Implement's Virtual Clinic Tractor Series. In this episode, we're going to be highlighting the 3 family, and in a little bit, Tyler Coe, who is the location manager here in Scott City, Kansas, will be joining me to speak firsthand on what customers are really liking about these machines and some of the applications that they're using them for. But also in this video, we're going to include overall operations, we're going to talk about attachments, we're going to talk a little bit more about applications, serviceability, and all sorts of great things. First and foremost though, let's break down the models and talk about what's involved here with the 3 family of tractors. So unlike the 1s and the 2s, we actually have 3 different series within the 3 family of tractors. So we have the D series, we have the E series, and we have the R series. Representing the family here today, we have the 3038E and we have the 3046R. Now overall horsepower range is going to vary from 25 horsepower all the way up to 46 horsepower. So you're going to have 9 total different model options within the 3 family alone. So just to highlight some of those differences between those 3 different series, you're going to have, probably the most obvious is going to be some optionality with the cab itself. You're going to have optionality within the transmission, so be it the e-hydro or the power reverser 1212 transmission. You're going to have some differences with compatibility with attachments such as different loaders, some different things like backhoes, etc., belly mowers. So I really do encourage you that if you're in the market for a tractor like this, to talk through with your sales professional about what are some of those major needs and wants, and then also what are you going to be doing with the tractor, what are some of those major applications, and there's definitely going to be a right fit for you within the 3 family. To go through an overview and highlight some of those differences between those 3 different series with the D's, E's, and R's, some of the different optionalities you're going to see is going to be the transmissions, whether it's that e-hydro or that 1212 power reverser transmission. You're going to see some other optionalities such as a cab offering, and then some other creature comforts such as tilt steering, cruise control, things like that as well. PTO options, and then just overall compatibility with some of the major attachments such as loaders. You're going to have some different loader offerings, same as with belly mower or some of the 3-point implements such as a backhoe. You're going to have some different models and compatibility situations depending on which series that you're in. So really encourage you, if you're in the market for one of these tractors, talk with your sales professional, walk through your needs and wants and the major applications that you're going to be utilizing these tractors for, and they'll be able to help pinpoint the right model for you, because there's definitely going to be a right model for you within the 3 family. And we're joined here with Tyler Coe, location manager here at the Scott City, Kansas location. And he's going to talk a little bit as to why a customer might want a D series versus an E series versus an R series. So could you talk through some of those differences with us?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. First things first, we have an E series over here. It's kind of our lower spec tractor.
Sure.
It doesn't have the quick-hitch loader. It does have an e-hydro transmission. You know, and obviously the R series over here, the biggest difference is the
cab option.
Yeah, that's right. We can get AC, heater, even a stereo if you want to jam out while you're mowing the yard.
Why not?
You can do that. So, but the E fits its purpose, and obviously it's going to be less money. You can get into it entry level. It works pretty well. And the D series, we don't have one here to show off, but it has a manual transmission, like I was saying, less expense. But it's more for like, hey, that tillage work or pulling rakes or pulling blades.
Sure.
It's going to be pulling stuff. That's the way it's geared up. It's got the heavier frame for that. So where the E is going to be more versatile. It's got the loader, it's got the rear PTO, the 3-point, where you can have a rotary cutter, you can put all your different attachments on there just like you can on the R series.
Yeah.
Same with the loader, you can put all your front attachments on the bucket, the pallet forks. It's very versatile on that end. So
all that versatility.
Yes, and then of course we can step over to this R series where we've got the mid PTO. That's one thing that E won't offer. So we can put that belly mower over here. As you can see, it's pretty stout deck.
Yeah.
It's AutoConnect, so you can just drive over the top of it. It auto-connects that PTO into it, lift it up, you're good to go.
Yeah.
And it's got just a push button to
and
raise
up to
and lower.
72 inches, right?
Correct. Yes. So you can. Most of them are 60, or most of them on this size tractors are about 72.
Yeah.
And of course, this is a 46, so it's 46 horsepower. So, and this one's got it where you can disconnect that loader off of here easily. So if you are mowing around some tight spots and you don't want that loader sticking out front, quick, easy to take off.
Perfect.
And then of course with the R series inside, you've got a lot of functionality where you can set your cruise everything. I mean, it's pretty neat what all you can do inside on these tractors, and of course, an air ride seat. The comfort level is going to be nice. So.
Almost like driving a car.
Yeah, exactly.
So what would you say would be some key points that a customer as to why they should consider John Deere in the purchasing process if they're in the market for a compact utility tractor, specifically the 3 family?
Number one and foremost, I mean, you got John Deere, but you also have American Implement to help be your partner in this, and Serviceability. We can do all the oil changes. We have all the parts on hand for, as far as an oil filter, a cab filter, or a cab filter or an engine filter, and all your oils and everything else that you need. Also, we've got guys that are trained, that have been around, they've gone to different schooling with John Deere, and very versatile on knowing how to work on these. Not that we have to work on them, they've been very reliable, so those guys get to work on the bigger stuff, not worry about these little things as much. So.
Go. Great. Well, thanks for spending a few minutes with us here today.
Yeah, I mean, it's my pleasure.
Tyler chatted a little bit earlier about some of the applications that he's seeing customers utilizing these tractors for, but let's dive in a little bit deeper into some of those and talk about some of the common attachments that you're going to see on these compact utility tractors. First and foremost, when you think of a cut tractor, you think of that loader. So you're going to think of all that material handling, not only with the bucket, but then like he said, with the pallet forks, with a hay fork, things like that. So you do have some different loader compatibilities within the 3 family. You have the R series loader, which is going to have that quick park system. Super simple, within a minute, be able to take this whole loader on and off, disconnect, very simple, no tools required. So with the R series there. And then you're actually going to have an E series loader that's compatible over on the E series tractor. So it's an easy way to remember it that way as well. Very similar lift capacities, things like that. Just maybe some more attachability features with that R series loader. Moving back and thinking about what's happening underneath that tractor, you're going to have that mid-PTO compatibility on the 3Rs. So you're going to get that industry exclusive AutoConnect deck, which is a fantastic option when we're thinking about versatility for these machines. When we're thinking about ease of use, we're able to pick up that mower, drop that mower super easily. Just a matter of making sure those gauge wheels are locked, drive up and over the loader, or excuse me, the mower, and it's going to automatically connect that PTO for you, and then other front connection points up in the front of the tractor. So again, industry exclusive AutoConnect deck, up to 72 inches on this deck. So you're getting a wider deck than you would, let's say, with the AutoConnect deck with the 1 family or the 2 family of tractors as well. So that's a big selling point on these 3 family. You're getting a bigger tractor, but you're still getting a lot of those nice, easy, versatile functions such as the AutoConnect deck there with that mid PTO. And then when we're thinking about the rear of these tractors, full Cat 1 hitch. So any sort of Category 1 implements are going to work really well on these tractors. Don't forget about the iMatch hitch, folks. This is probably the biggest frustration saver that you can have when connecting and disconnecting rear implements. So you do have a full Category 1 size hitch on all the 3 family. So any compatible Category 1 rear implements are going to fit on these tractors. You do also have the drawbar, so you can have any sort of drawbar implements as well. And then also any PTO. So it's a 540 speed PTO here on the rear. You do have some different hydraulic offerings. So there's some different options there, especially on the R series. You're gonna have a little more offerings there as far as rear remotes. So if you do have an implement that might have some extra functionality that needs controlled through your hydraulic system, you're gonna have that optionality here as well. So again, very versatile, functional. Between your John Deere lineup of attachments and Frontier lineup, there's quite the offerings of what these tractors can do. So while we're talking about applications here on the front end of the tractor, we can't forget about snow removal. So whether you're doing that with your loader itself, you're putting a blade or something like that on it, or we do have the optionality within the 3 family for that mid PTO function. So you can utilize snow blowers here on the front end of your 3 family tractor as well. Some more specific applications to think about when we're at the back of the tractor, be it ground engaging, such as any sort of tilling, planting, ground engaging type opportunities there. With your PTO, 540 speed, we have a variety of different things that these tractors are capable of. And also, speaking of ground engaging, what about digging? So augers, post holes, backhoes. So we do have backhoe compatibility within the 3 family as well. So it just goes to show how versatile these tractors truly are. We've talked a lot about the different applications that these tractors can do, but let's get into how they actually operate. So we're going to walk through the different features and then just operations of the three families. So we're going to start first with the 3E. So some things you're going to see right off the bat, you do have that sloping downward hood that's going to add to your visibility, especially with loader work. You notice this nice left-hand step over here and this big handrail, so it was easy to get up onto the tractor itself. You're going to have an open floor. So a lot of tractors in this market are actually going to have this big hump in the middle that is tough to get around sometimes. So that's a nice feature as well. But just to walk through the overall operator station itself, starting over here on the left-hand side, you're going to have your range selector. So pretty simple. This is the eHydro transmission. So it's just going to be a simple high-low, no clutch involved. So that makes it super easy to operate. So low is going to be for more of your ground engaging applications. If you're in some slick spots, if you're doing a lot of heavy loader work to where you really need to drive into a dirt pile, you want to utilize that low range. High is going to be like for transport, items to where you're not necessarily super high idle, but you still want to be able to pick up that speed. So range selector, pretty simple there. You do have to be in neutral to start the tractor, so keep that in mind. Anything marked in orange is going to signify either machine movement or engine engagement. So that makes it pretty easy. That color coding is consistent across all John Deere products. So anything in orange is typically going to have to do with the transmission. So speaking of which, down here by my left foot, it's going to be the park brake. Very simple to engage, disengage from that safety standpoint, which is really nice. You've got some levers down here, a little hard to see, but this is going to be your MFW engagement. So all these are going to come standard mechanical front wheel drive or four-wheel drive, front wheel assist, whatever you want to call it, four-wheel drive. So to simply engage it, you're going to utilize this lever here, pushing down and up to engage and disengage. Something that's a little different on the 3Es than maybe some of the other cuts is going to be your diff lock engagement. So when might you need to use diff lock? Essentially what that's going to do is distribute power evenly on your rear wheels. So in those slick spots, or again, driving into that dirt pile where you need that extra little push, that's how you're going to engage it here. And this decal is going to explain how that works, but you're just going to partially depress your brake pedal to engage your diff lock, and then fully depress your brake pedal to actually engage your brakes if you want to utilize those. Looking straight ahead of me onto the steering itself, on the 3E, you don't necessarily have that tilt steer that you're going to have on the 3R, so that's something to think about there. But you do have automotive style lighting controls right here, your hazard lights, turn signals. You're going to have some buttons here that have to do with regenning. So with this being a final Tier 4 engine, this will regen when it needs to burn off those particulates. So you have the option of engaging into that regen when it goes into it. The dash itself, it does have an LED or LCD, display that's going to highlight your tach meter or your hours, and then various indicator lights that you would assume, right? So your batteries, your fuel level, your, if you are regenning, things like that. Those are all going to, light up as needed. Different temperatures, things like that are all going to be very visible right here on your dash. Moving over to your right-hand side of your dash, you have your hand throttle, which is in orange, so that goes back to our transmission. That's going to directly correlate with your engine speed or engine RPMs. So pretty universal symbols there. Rabbit's going to be fast, turtle is going to be slow. So really low idle when you're not really moving, or if you're just doing some very simple transport, things like that. High idle when you're really pushing that tractor, when you're, again, doing those ground engaging type of things as well. All right, to follow suit with that transmission over here on your right hand side, you do have the twin touch pedals. Tyler talked about how easy those are to use. Simply left for forward, right for reverse. Really nice. Some of the other tractors in this marketplace have what's called a treadle pedal, so it's just a single pedal for forward and reverse. A lot of customers talk about operator fatigue, things like that, utilizing those. So very simple way to actually move the tractor. The loader, we do have our loader joystick up here kind of more forward than what we would on the 3R, which will be set back a little further, but you're gonna have the same functionality with this joystick. You've got a decal that represents the different functions, but it's gonna be back for up, forward for down, right to dump, and left to curl. Again, my trick to think about that is when you're going left, L, curling the bucket. So that's how I remember that. You do have this lockout, so if you keeps you from inadvertently knocking this joystick if you're in some different other operation or application where you don't need that, so that's handy. But make sure that that lockout is disengaged when you actually want to go use the loader. All right, so moving over to the right-hand side, you've got your hitch over here. So this is going to control the depth or the height of your hitch. You do have your hitch selector height right here as well. So you can basically lock this into place to where you're bringing your hitch down to a consistent depth every single time. So it's a little cheat for you there, which is nice. And then last but not least, you have your PTO engagement. So what's nice about this PTO engagement is that you can do it on the fly. You don't have to stop your tractor. There's no clutching involved, anything like that. Now you do have to be sitting in your seat because there is an operator presence switch as well. But let's say you are mowing and you want to cross a driveway or something like that. This way you can engage and disengage and you're not throwing rocks or whatnot as well. So easy engagement on the PTO is a really nice function. You have your 12-volt accessory there as well. But all in all, that sums up the operator station here on the 3E. Now that we've gone over the operations on the 3E, let's go over the operations on the 4R. Now there are going to be some more bells and whistles and some different applications to talk about here. So let's go ahead and take a look. So again, you're going to have this step, left-hand step, nice big handlebars, so easy access into the cab. And now on the 4R, you are going to have tilt steering, so you can get in here nice and comfortable. You're going to have seat adjustment as well, so I can slide this forward. Short people like me have those problems. Same color coding that you're going to see on all the John Deere products. So orange means either machine movement or engine engagement. So we have our range level or lever, here on the left-hand side. Now we do have low, mid, and high, or A, B, and C range, as well as your neutral range here as well. Same goes low for maybe some more of those ground engaging type things. Your high or your C more for transport speeds, things like that. They don't necessarily demand a lot out of your engine. Your 12 volts come over here on your left-hand side. Orange again, park brake, engages the same way that the 3E does. Now, you are going to have your diff lock a little bit different, so that's going to be separate engagement. So here on the heel of my left foot here, I just simply push that down when I want to engage the diff lock, so that's coming on the go. And then when I want to release the diff lock, simply lift up. Brakes are going to be a little different again, just because it's separating between that diff lock. And then they are technically, you could use them as steering brakes. If I wanted to unlock the lever there in the middle, then I can utilize them as individual steering brakes, or keep them locked, which for safety features, unless you're really utilizing them for steering brakes, it's a good practice just to go ahead and keep them locked so you're engaging both brakes at the same time. Looking straight ahead, you also have that LCD dash that's going to populate and show your hours, things like that. The various indicator lights, again, showing battery, regen, PTO engagement hours, things like that, are going to be showcasing here on your dash. Since you do have the cab, you do have windshield wipers, so you control those there. MFWD engagement, this is going to be a little bit different. Instead of a lever down below, it's going to be right here on your left hand side on your dash. So that's a nice, quick, easy feature there as well. Gauge on the go. Over on your right hand side, you're going to have your hand throttle, same as on any of the other cut tractors. You have those automotive style lighting, so you have work lights and or just front lights there, your hazards, turn signals, and then a couple of your buttons here that correlate back to your region or those final tier 4 emission standards as well. So that's looking straight in front of us. You still have those same twin touch pedals over here on the right hand side, left for forward, right for reverse. Your loader control. So we're going to notice that this joystick is a bit more ergonomic, a little bit more of a comfortable position to sit on versus the lever up front, the way we had on the 3E. And then since we do have this mid-mount belly mower, we do have this other functionality with our thumb, and that's actually how you're going to raise and lower your deck, is utilizing this thumb feature here. So same with the loader controls, back for up, forward for down, right for dump, left to curl. And then something that's a little unique here is you do have a hydraulic diverter switch. You might be thinking, what in the world is that used for? So if you're not utilizing your front loader, but your deck lift underneath here, you do have to engage this hydraulic diverter. That's going to divert hydraulic power to that deck lift and allow you to raise and lower your deck. Some different other functions over here, nice and easy that you can reach. You're going to have your hitch height, which is nice. Has some standard notches in there for you. You have your PTO engagement and selector. So anything in yellow is going to correlate with your PTO. So with this, since we do have a mid-mount PTO or a mid-PTO and a rear PTO, you need to select which PTO you want to engage first before you engage it. Makes sense. So once you select which PTO, or if you want to run both, you do have that option of running them simultaneously. Then you can simply use that same button, the electric engagement button, to engage your PTO from there. Again, can do that on the fly, no clutching, and you can engage and disengage as you want. You want to have some different slots here as far as additional SCVs, rear remotes, things like that, so you would control that all from the right hand console as well. Cruise control, okay, that's a nice function and feature on the 3Rs that you're going to have over the Ds or the Es. So you're going to be able to engage it, set, reset, bump up, bump down, just as you would as you're driving a car, all by the touch of the buttons over here. But beyond that, again, you have some remotes here for if you do have some various SCVs added. But that summarizes the, actually no it doesn't. We'll talk about AC. So your AC controls are right up here, easy to reach. So HVAC, I should say. So your cool and your heat, and then your radio is going to be over here on your left hand side. But beyond that, that should pretty much cover the operational and then also some of the comfort features of the 3R tractor. Keeping your compact utility tractor healthy and serviced is obviously pretty important to maintain optimal performance. So we're going to highlight just some of the serviceability checkpoints and accessibility of those here with the tractor itself. So first off, let's see what's underneath the hood. Yanmar 3-cylinder engines, final tier 4. Again, you're going to have some different models throughout the different series. Mainly difference would be just horsepower, displacement, but they're all going to be very similarly designed. So just some common checkpoints you're going to look at. Obviously, you have your battery right up here in the front. Pretty accessible. I mean, I'm a little short. A stool might be nice, but such is my life. You have your coolant reservoir as well, so you can check to see where you're at with the levels there. So simple fill here, and then your air filter, easy to access and change out when needed as well. But there's actually quite a few checkpoints and filters that you can access without even popping the hood. So it's going to be over here on the right hand side of your tractor. A couple fluid points to check. So you're going to have your engine oil check right up in here, right by your loader frame, your dipstick. Then you're going to have your oil filter, easy to access, and then also your fuel filter down here, easy to access as well without even popping the hood. One other checkpoint you're going to want to make is going to be on the back side of the tractor, and that's going to be your hydraulic fluid. Again, also going to be a dipstick. So typically really on any of these cuts, look towards the rear, and you're going to see that dipstick here in the back, easy to access once again. So now we know some locations of some basic service points and checkpoints. Knowing what to do and when to do it is something else to be thinking about. So you can always reference your operator's manual, which is going to come with these machines, or you have an app for that. It's called the Tractor Plus app. Simply plug in your serial number of your tractor, and it's going to pull up screens that talk about overall the history of your tractor, how to service it, when to service it, call up all those common parts, wear parts, so your filters, fluids, things like that. And you could actually then submit orders directly to your dealership through that app. If it comes time when you need those parts, it's going to walk you through how to handle those service checks and do those different service jobs. It's going to give you instructions, sometimes even videos. So that Tractor Plus app is really your best friend when it comes to teaching and training and showing you how to do your service work on your own. Or you can always bring it into your local American Implement. As Tyler said, our service departments are second to none. So utilize that Tractor Plus app as a tool. Also utilize the customer portal. If you haven't signed up for that yet, please do. It's just a direct connection to where, again, you can look for your own parts, order your own parts directly. You can schedule service even through the customer portal. It's just another link in communication with your local American Implement dealership. So Serviceability, again, they make it pretty simple on these tractors because they want it to be just as user-friendly as it is as the overall operations are on these tractors as well. In this video, we've been all about the 3 family. We've talked about the different applications these tractors are great for. We've talked about the overall versatility, ease of use, operations, functions, and also even serviceability. So truly, between all of the entire 3 family, all 3 series and 9 models ranging over 20 horsepower, there's going to be the right fit for you if you're in the marketplace for a tractor like this, including with price point. So speaking of price point, do want to highlight our tractor packages that are going on right now with our compact utility tractors, and specifically talk about the 3 tractor packages that we have within the 3 family. So the first 2 to go over are going to be on the E series. So we have the 3032E. That's going to qualify for the Wrangler package and the Wrangler Plus package. So the Wrangler package is going to look like just this. So it's going to include the tractor and the loader as well. The Wrangler Plus package, we're going to throw in a rotary cutter with that as well to get some of that mowing done on your properties. Now if you jump up to the 3038E, that's going to be our Maverick package. So similar setup. Maverick package is going to include the tractor and the loader. Maverick Plus is going to add in the rotary cutter to that package as well. Now we didn't forget about the R series over here. So on the 3046R, we are offering the Barnyard package and the Barnyard Plus package. So once again, Barnyard package is going to include the tractor itself and the loader. Barnyard Plus is going to include the rotary cutter with that as well. So I encourage you to go to our website, americanimplement.com. Check out those packages. There's a tractor package link right on the top navigation bar when you log in or when you access our website. And also, if you want to see these tractors in person, we would love to have you here at one of our American Implement locations, or you could check us out at some of our upcoming Drive Green events this spring. We're going to be holding both in-person and virtual events. So you can check us out at some of those Drive Green events. Specifically, we're going to be at the 3i show in Dodge City in March. And then we're also going to be at the Home and Garden and Farm show in Garden City in May. So that will be an opportunity to come up and see these tractors firsthand. But please be on the lookout on our website for more events as they're getting scheduled currently, and then any sort of discounts, coupons, things like that available virtually too. So with that, thank you so much for joining in and talking about the 3 family with us in this episode, and we hope to catch you in another episode of American Implement's Virtual Tractor Clinic series.